Following the latest court ruling, Martell Holt's life has taken another dramatic turn, one that threatens his future in ways he may not recover from. His legal troubles have gone from bad to worse, his reputation is hanging by a thread, and his family life has been thrown deeper into chaos. This time, the decision was not just unfavorable, it was a devastating blow that stripped away the last bit of control he thought he still had. Martell has always been one of the most talked about faces on Love and Marriage Huntsville. His sharp suits, bold words, and constant drama made him impossible to ignore. But now, instead of being known for his charm or success, he's making headlines for all the wrong reasons. Between his rocky marriage, public scandals, and now this criminal conviction, Martell finds himself in a position no reality star ever wants to be in, caught between losing his freedom, his children, and his public image. On May 2, 2024, the Huntsville Municipal Court officially convicted Martell Holt of third-degree domestic abuse and harassment against his ex-wife, Melody Shari. The accusations weren't minor disagreements. They were serious enough to bring him before a judge, and the verdict made it clear that this wasn't just another reality TV fight. Martell was handed a 30-day jail sentence, though it was suspended, along with 12 months of probation. On top of that, he had to pay $500 in fines, additional court costs, and enroll in domestic violence programs. But perhaps the most damaging part of that ruling wasn't the financial strain or the probation, it was the no-contact order. That ruling meant that Martell, the father of 4, could not directly communicate with Melody. Imagine the weight of that decision. 2 parents legally ordered not to speak to one another, forced to rely on lawyers, apps, and third parties to manage the lives of their children. It was the court's way of saying, Martell, your actions are not just poor choices, they're dangerous enough to warrant legal barriers. For fans of Love and Marriage Huntsville, the news was a turning point. Martell had already built a reputation for being reckless, arrogant, and unfaithful. His marriage to Melody collapsed under the weight of his cheating scandal with Ariane Curry, and while many fans had once given him grace, that sympathy started to vanish. Some viewers argued that the show dramatized his flaws for television. Others felt this court ruling proved what they had suspected all along, that Martell wasn't simply misunderstood, he was a man unwilling to change. And with this conviction now public, Martell's image as a father figure collapsed. He could no longer lean on the narrative of being a devoted dad when the legal system itself had labeled him guilty of abuse. Instead of accepting the ruling, Martell tried to fight back. He filed an appeal in Madison County Circuit Court, hoping to clear his name or at least reduce the consequences. It was a gamble that cost him time, money, and whatever goodwill he still had. But in August 2025, the gamble failed. Martell pled guilty once again, and the outcome was nearly identical. Another 30-day suspended jail sentence, more probation, more fines, more court costs. Nothing changed, except for the fact that now he had burned through additional resources trying to fight a battle he couldn't win. That second guilty plea was a symbolic moment. It wasn't just about the legal result, it was about Martell's inability to escape accountability. For a man who always tried to control the narrative, this was proof that the system had spoken, and there was no escaping it. The timing could not have been worse. Martell is scheduled to face Melody in court again on October 15, 2025, in a custody dispute over their children. With his conviction now on record, he enters that courtroom at a clear disadvantage. Family courts in Alabama treat domestic violence allegations with the utmost seriousness. Even when physical harm isn't proven, harassment or threatening behavior is enough to raise red flags about a parent's ability to provide a safe environment. Melody's lawyers will undoubtedly use this conviction to argue that Martell is unfit for equal custody. And history shows that Melody often leaves court in a stronger position than when she entered. In June 2024, Martell was ordered to pay $7,000 in her legal fees and faced threats of suspended visitation. By October of that same year, some of his claims were dismissed outright. Each time, Martell left with more financial penalties, while Melody left with more credibility. This new guilty plea only continues that pattern. Melody appears methodical, responsible, and focused on her children's stability, while Martell continues to look chaotic, careless, and unprepared. Behind the legal drama, Martell's finances are crumbling. Court fines, probation costs, child support, attorney fees, and potential penalties are stacking up quickly. While reality TV can pay well, those checks aren't guaranteed and often depend on filming schedules and popularity. Martell has tried his hand at real estate and other ventures, but his success has been inconsistent. Every setback in court eats away at his resources, and for fans watching him on the show, that stress is obvious. He appears tired, restless, and frustrated, carrying the weight of battles he seems destined to lose. Perhaps the saddest part of this entire story is the effect on the 4 children Martell shares with Melody. Growing up in the shadow of constant legal battles is challenging enough, but with a no-contact order in place, their parents can't even communicate directly. Instead, messages have to go through apps, lawyers, or third parties. For kids, this can create confusion, instability, and emotional wounds that may last well into adulthood. They're old enough to understand that something is deeply wrong, and they've seen their father in headlines for actions that directly impact their home life. What kind of example does that set for their understanding of family, love, and trust? For years, Martell painted himself as a man fighting for his family. He insisted he was only trying to protect his kids and prove himself as a father. On the surface, that sounds noble. But when you look closely at his behavior, ignoring court orders, refusing counseling, posting erratic messages online, it stops looking like love and starts looking like control. Supporters have noticed the double standards. He criticizes Melody for sharing details about the children, but then posts pictures of his son with Ariane Curry. He shares Bible verses one day, only to attack his ex-wife with petty captions the next. Fans see the hypocrisy, and with each court loss, the mask slips a little further. At this point, Martell is facing more than just another messy divorce or reality show argument. This is about a man who has repeatedly ignored opportunities to change. Judges gave him clear instructions: attend counseling, complete evaluations, follow through with parenting requirements, and 2 years later, many of those steps remain undone. Now, the patience of the court may be running thin, and the patience of fans already has. The upcoming custody hearing could be the final straw. If the judge rules against him, Martell risks losing unsupervised visitation altogether. That would mean seeing his kids only under supervision, or not at all if the court decides it's necessary for their safety. For someone who has built his public persona around being a father, that would be the ultimate loss. Meanwhile, Melody continues to move forward. She's focused on her businesses, her music, and her role as a mother. Fans see her as calm, stable, and resilient, a sharp contrast to Martell's erratic behavior. Her growth and consistency are winning her respect not just from viewers, but from judges and even other cast members. While Martell struggles in courtrooms, Melody thrives outside of them, proving that her focus is on building a better future for herself and her children. Martell Holt now stands at a crossroads. The conviction on his record has permanently damaged his reputation, but the upcoming custody case could decide the future of his relationship with his children. Will he finally take responsibility and do the hard work to rebuild trust? Or will he continue down the same destructive path, losing more than just legal battles? One thing is certain: this latest court ruling has stripped away the excuses and the appeals. Martell is running out of chances, and the world is watching closely to see if he will change or continue spiraling deeper into his own mistakes. Martell Holt's story has reached a point where the drama is no longer just about reality television. It's about real-life consequences that could shape his future forever. The latest guilty plea is more than just another headline. It's a decision that leaves a permanent mark on his record, damages his credibility, and places him at a serious disadvantage in the upcoming custody battle. With the court date set for October 15, 2025, everything he has built as a father and as a public figure now hangs in the balance. Melody Shari, on the other hand, continues to show stability and growth, focusing on her businesses and her children while leaving the chaos behind. That contrast makes the difference even clearer. One parent moving forward with purpose, the other stuck in a cycle of mistakes and courtroom setbacks. The question now is simple. Will Martell finally face the truth and make the changes needed to regain trust? Or will this latest downfall seal his fate for good? Fans, critics, and even the court system are watching closely. One thing is certain, this custody case could decide the rest of his story.